In this demonstration I will show you a little bit about Moodle, which is the biggest open source online educational portal. And the reason why it's good to go for open source is that it's continuously developed, all parts of it, and new functionalities are added all the time. At the same time, the system itself is updated, so you don't have to actually hire programmers to do anything. All you have to do is to set it up so it fits your purposes. At the first look, Moodle looks like a quite complex system, but that's because there's so many functionalities in it. As soon as you go for the correct template, you set it up according to your needs, it's actually a quite neat and very functional study system to use. Moodle is also used by some of the big players around in the world. Like only in Denmark, you will here have a list over all different kind of institutions that are using Moodle for their education. So it's good in that way that it's very well used, which means that it's very well supported, and it will continue to have support going into the future, which means choosing Moodle means that you have a platform for many years to come. So how can we use this for the DI schools? We have installed a Moodle system on our own server as a kind of demonstration. I started on this long time ago, so I've just tried to adapt it a little bit to your needs, so you can have a brief introduction on what it is. It's basically a website that you get into. Depending on the template, it can look very different. This is one that I just chose more or less randomly. You have banners, some logo, you have some highlighted courses at the top, and down here you have a list over courses available at the moment. At the moment I'm not signed in, as you can see up in the corner. If I want to know something about this course, right now I have set it up so you have to sign in. You could also allow them to see the outline of the courses only if they wanted to enter a task they had to sign up. But for now I will log in as myself, a teacher. If not, you have to create an account first time you log in. So now I am in as teacher 1, and as you see under current courses I only have one course assigned to me. The teacher can create more courses and be assigned to them, and then the whole list of courses will show here. If I log in as administrator, I will see something completely different. There I will see all the courses, and I can assign teachers for each of the course. Now I'm inside the subject that is called Lifestyle Sustainability, and you have a headline at the top. You have a kind of introduction for the course up here, of course more than this, and I've also attached the overview over the course that you of course just can click on, open it, and you will get the overview over each of the how many hours each of the tasks are, and all the tasks. You can edit this, you can add to it. When completed you can save, and you can upload and replace it with this. And as you see, it will also show the date and time, so you know that you are if you are on the latest version. There's also an ideas and task for this subject, which everybody that has access to this course, they can contribute. There are many facts errors in task 7 somebody has written. Somebody has written about a task about Ebola. I want to make a task yes. You can just reply here and say I have some good sources, please mail me. I could also attach it here. I could also make sure that everybody following this forum actually gets a mail. So I could tick this one here off, and I post the forum, and everybody gets a mail about this update in the forum discussions about this task. And so on. You can have a discussion going around a certain task. You can open a new forum, whatever you want. Back to the list of tasks. I have written in just an example of all the tasks that you have down here. You have a title and an introduction, and in total you have 26 tasks within this subject. The setup of a subject, you have millions of ways to do it. The one I have chosen here is the one that gives you the quickest overview, as everything will be displayed on one page without a lot of clicking. But there are several ways that you can adapt so it looks more like the STB program, where you click first in introduction, then in instruction, and so on. Or you can have a wall where you have everything visible, like I have it here. I have uploaded some material into task number 3, just so you have an idea about how it could look like. You have a task, you have an introduction, you have a wording, then you have introduction and instruction, task details, that is this is today. You click on it, and if it was a PDF it can open, but as it's Word you have to open it in a separate file, and that's fine. You can also download the task. You can also replace it if you are a teacher and you want to do additions to it. Then I put up some different Word PDF documents here. You can get them to open in a pop-up window. You can also force them to download the files if you want. And then you can also add sections that is called, for example, teachers' resources. You can have some task discussions. Let's say you have a lot of new teachers and they're a little bit in detail worried about how to actually correct this task. Is this one of the ones that has to be sent to UVU, or can they do it themselves, or etc. You can add different discussions in here about it, or you can just basically make some notes to the teacher saying that this is a multiple choice task. The student will take the assignment. If they get 80%, it will automatically be proven and points given. There are 3 tasks. There are 3 takes, which means you can retake the multiple choice. Okay, so this can be some information to the teacher and only visible for the teacher when he is logged in. So this is how you do it. So how do you actually then add a task to this system, and how do you manage these files? Like with everything, it's a learning curve, and you need to learn the system, and first of all we need to find a setup that we are happy for. We can, however, start using it and then adapt it as we go, but as I said, it's a learning curve to learn it, but when you know it, it's a very good system. At the top of every course you have turn editing on and off. When you turn it on, you get a lot of inline symbols here, where you can move them around as you want in the order that you want. You can also enter each of them. For example, if I wanted to replace this document here, I could edit the settings. I could write some more notes here to it. I could delete this file and I can upload the newest version of it. You can also download this file here as it is, if you so want. So that's how you can edit that. If you suddenly find a new file that you would like to add to this list here, for example, you have add a resource or add an activity. An activity is something the student will do. A resource is some of the things that you can add. So I will add a file. This is just a quick example. New file. You can give an introduction to the file and say that it should be shown on the front page, but to not make it too crowded, I prefer not to. Then I will go in here, I will upload a file for this course. Let's say it's just a picture. You don't have to write anything if you're happy with the name, and the picture is now there. So I will return to the course. And as you see, the new file has been added down here. I can just drag it up here. I can move it a little bit to the right, and I can also change the title. Nice picture. So now I have added a file to this task, and it's immediately available for everybody else. The only thing I have not added here is activities for the students, and there's a lot of activities that you can add for the students. You can make an assignment, which means that they can attach a Word document or write in an editor. Task is sent to teacher. You can have back and forward as many times as you want until it has been approved. You can have a chat for a task if you, for example, have several schools that want to come together at 10 o'clock and talk about a specific topic. Everybody can log in and the chat will be available in that task. You have multiple choice, you have some external tools, you have lessons. It's basically a step-by-step, like first you do this, click next, then you do this. You have quizzes, and there are several different types of quizzes you can use. Multiple choice is one of them. You could have a text document with open areas where people have to, students have to select words to put in. You can have a picture of an African map and all the countries' name, and they have to drag it onto the map, and they get a score based on how many correct countries they got, etc., etc. We have a lot of assignment, but our primary purpose now is to have a database of tasks. This can be added later if we want the students actually to resolve the tasks within the system. And when it comes to resources, you can create your own book. It's very technical to explain it shortly, but it's basically if you have a lot of material for something, instead of having pages and pages, you can create a little book with an index, etc. You can upload files. You can have a folder with 20 PDF files attached to a task. It's called label, but it's basically anything with multimedia. You can integrate a YouTube video within the instructions, audio file, whatever you want. Page is just a normal white page where you write something, and URL are good links, etc. So you can do a lot of things. There are a lot of options, and it's all built into the system. I will now quickly show you how you, for example, add a new task. You have the task list here. At the moment there are 26 tasks, so I could click on the plus at the bottom. It automatically opens topic 27. I will edit this one. I will tick off that it shouldn't show a default name because I want to write my own name. Task 27, demo task. Task is to learn about how to prevent malaria, for example, and I'll save the changes. So basically the task has been added. Now I have to add resources which you normally would be using. So I will start by, for example, I will add a file that is the introduction to this course. So I click File, task description, and you could write some more stuff here. I will upload a file. Introduction text. Of course, this is a text document, txt, so see if that works. Yes, it does. Introduction is already up. You have a lot of other settings here. Should it open in a pop-up? Should it be forced to be downloaded, etc., etc. There's a lot of options. Let's see if we take, for example, pop-up. It will show it in a window like that, etc., etc. So I will save and return. Introduction has now been added to the task, as you see here. Then I will add some reading files. I add a reading file again. Reading file 1. and I'll upload it. Upload a file. World Health Organization about malaria. Let's go for that. File has been added. And that's the reading file. And again, you can change the name every time. Oh, I forgot to save it. Okay, go back. I want to click on this to edit. So, WHO on malaria, and you press enter to change the title. So that's a reading file. But you know what, I would also actually like to add a little video in here. I do that by choosing label. Label you can use for a lot of stuff. In this situation, I will add a YouTube video. So I click on the media. I have a YouTube link here. Malaria movie. And I will set this here. It will just show like a link here. But when I click 7 return to course, it should appear here on the list below. And the layout looks a little bit strange at the moment, but if you take off the editing, it will show it. You can, for example, also add some text under it. If you want. So here you can see the text is showing underneath the video. We could have aligned that to the left and so on, but this is purely for demonstration. I also have a URL I want to add. So I click on URL. Link to website, and I will put that. Let me see, I think you still should use this one here, I'm not sure. Let's see. I write the link to something. Interesting facts about malaria. See if that works in the same way. Insert. Appearances, automatic or in pop-up, whatever you want. Save and return. I have to write a link here. That's how it was. So I don't need to write anything up there. Just a link here. So now I have a link to a website, and of course I could edit this title as well if it was. So this is how you basically add a new tasks to the system. You can also organize it by enter some titles in between them to make it more easy to overview the tasks. And if you switch the editing off, all the strange things disappears. It looks a little bit more neat again. This is the task that we have just made down here, for example. I should have aligned it as I said. But you have a description, you have the files, you can have a film, you can have a link to a website, etc. Next to the task, it has a lot of other good functionalities as well. You have, for example, something called private files. With Moodle, you also get a mobile app. like this. It's a free app. You log in and you can study if you want. You can do a lot of things. You can also upload movies. And right before I made this little video, I did upload a little film here. I will open it here. I was thinking about adding it to my profile.
Hello, my name is Morten. I am 44 years old and I come from Norway. I will be your teacher during this course and I'm looking forward to work together with you over the next coming month.
So that's how that works. From your mobile app you can take a picture, you can record something, you can take a film, you can upload a file, and it will show in your private files anytime. So when you answer a task or when you take a task, create a task, you can even do that from your mobile phone and just upload it. If students are out making interviews, fantastic. Upload it to the private files and they can use it for the task when they come home. As I told you before, Moodle is a very big open source system, and you have a lot of add-ons that you can add to your Moodle so it looks and feels the way that you want. You can, for example, download plugins that show your progress bar in total. You can download plugins that show Grade Me, which is for the teacher. It will show a list of all the assignments that has been submitted and the teacher has not corrected them yet. You can have learning plans, etc., etc. There are also things like plagiarism plugins, which means if a One World University candidate is submitting a piece of work, you can run through the text with some plugins that will show you how many % of the exact text has been found in Wikipedia, has been found in different other places online. This is basically to confirm if it is their work or if they're taking a lot from online sources. And there are thousands of these kind of plugins that can be added to fit the purposes that you need. Last but not least, about the layout. Layout depends on the template that you have installed. I did a demonstration some month ago creating something for Mauleby as a project. I will just log in. This is another template. So you log into the Studio Portal, and this was meant to be something for OptiHealth life skills that you can have online access to the courses. And again, it's just a different layout, but had a little bit more time to make it neat. Introduction, and again you have introduction, instruction, you have films, and then you have a test that you can take towards the end. However, you have to complete these activities here before the test will reveal itself. So you have to read the files, you have to read through this, then it will automatically tick off these boxes and the test will become available, and so on and so on. You also have it's just to say that the layout you can do as you want. It depends on your liking, and everything is possible. Alright, but that was a short introduction to what Moodle is, and it's basically just to sum up and say Moodle is an educational portal. You can have all the functionalities that you were discussing within the system. The look and the feel of it might not be exactly how you thought, but if we go for something like this, we can program it to be exactly like you thought. And the good thing with this Moodle is that you can build it up now for tasks, and once in the future when you feel ready, you can actually enroll students through this website, and people all over the world that is taking part of the program can log in here and actually complete all their studies within this application. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope this will be a base for some further discussions on this going forward.